Cavecast, the uncensored show for nerds of all kinds.
This has been long awaited, not really from, I guess you could say, an audience standpoint, but I mean, recently, I guess it has been. But we've talked about breaking down this album for a long time. This is such a unique thing that dropped in our laps that for anybody that doesn't know our journey and how we ended up here, we did listen to The Summoning. I know we've explained this a lot, but just for any new people, is that, you know, we heard The Summoning on Riker Road and it didn't hit us right. It was, we didn't have the lyrics.
Yeah.
You know,
right.
It was definitely fun, but I know like that's a reaction I really haven't watched again.
Me either.
Because I was off that night and things were just, I don't even remember what was happening, but I know that it was just not a good night in general. And I was like, now we're going to do this new band and I don't know anything about them, you know.
Same.
So it was that type of thing.
It was definitely the lyrics not being there for us, and people they weren't trying to keep it a secret, but I understand they were trying to let us figure it out on our own, if you will. We had really no context. We had no idea of like a lore.
Mm-hmm.
We had no idea of, you know, several different sides of a coin that we could be dealing with and things, you know, mental health, all of the stuff, right?
Yeah.
So, it didn't hit us. But at the same time, it did, because I argue, while I think we both had the same almost mentality, was all of the sounds and things that we heard leading up to the end were still great. We didn't understand, though, what we were hearing, and I think that was a huge disadvantage.
Very much, yeah. Yeah.
Because Sleep Token is not, I don't want to say it's specific, but when you don't have any type of understanding, being thrown into the Summoning until you get to the end, you're like, what the fuck is this?
Right.
And it's almost off-putting, because you know that there's a lot going on, but I didn't understand why.
I think that I don't know if you relate to this too, but I kind of had this mentality of, why do I need to care about this?
Correct.
And I think that it's like, even like hearing that they, you know, had lore and different things. Cause like, I mean, there were tons of comments on that video. Again, I've not looked at it in God knows how long, but it was this thing of like, yeah, it's like Sleep Token, they've got lore. And I was like, okay, cool. You know, like it's some nerd thing or whatever, which, by the way, I'm all for, but it was kind of like, I was so exhausted then when we were reacting that I was just like, I don't fucking care. I just want to survive. I want to get this reaction done. I want to, you know, like, I want to survive till tomorrow, that kind of thing. And I think that when people watch our reactions, is that there are times that is very present, you know, throughout our 1,000 videos we've done. Not all of them are going to be winners with that, you know.
Correct.
So it's that thing of, we've done a lot of content, but the thing is that as we started to move forward with, you know, kind of like things evening out and doing reactions more and more, with Sleep Token, was that the next one that we did was Take Me Back to Eden.
Correct.
And we had the lyrics up. We kind of like looked at the error of our ways, and we're like, you know what? We did not give them a good enough chance the first time. Let's see what this is really about.
Yeah.
Let's see what's going on. And that reaction is one that I have watched a lot, because, dude, it's you can see it in us both, where it's the, oh my God, I get it. I finally understand. Like,
see, I don't rewatch our reactions.
See, I typically don't either.
I edit them, and for the most part, for a while when we first started, just to kind of keep an eye on things, and like I worried about like how I looked or how we sounded or how something looked, like I would watch, but anymore, I really don't. So that's interesting. So you're saying that we had that moment of like, kind of like, oh, this we understand it now.
Well, I think it was purely from a music perspective.
Sure.
Where it was, because like, again, we didn't know everything that we know now, and again, the majority of what we know now could be incorrect, and even everything that we talk about tonight, you know, is all theories.
I'm still going with the path I was on, because I've had some new theories pop up too.
Well, I think very briefly is that because we have had some people that have commented and said, like, you know, look, no, like this isn't about a deity, this is about a woman, you know, and this listen to this. And it's like, I think that there's good merit with that theory up until we get to Take Me Back to Eden, because I think that this is where we really get to see specific things that we will get into of like, no, this is a deity, male or female, regardless. Like this is unhealthy. This is, there's a lot of evidence for that in my opinion, which again, we'll get into, but we didn't know. We didn't know what we were, processing and what was happening in front of us and how much it was going to change our lives. And this album is one that every single song is special for different reasons. I have some least favorite songs that are on this album, but I still listen to the entire thing whenever I do. It's like that type of thing.
Of course.
So, coming off of the cusp of Tomb, and we talked about it when we got to Missing Limbs, is that, especially when we see in the newer music as well too, of that, he's, coming up for air and choking and choke on it all. And that's how this album starts, is with Chokehold.
Right.
And this is a song that, again, it's on its own, just musically, it's dynamic and fucking incredible. Like there's so much to it. And with this one, this is actually one of the songs that we don't have a reaction to, because we reacted to Will Ramos covering it before we knew we were going to move forward with
correct.
Sleep. So,
and that's the thing, guys, is that really wasn't on purpose. And there was some people that got really fucking butthurt
still to this day
over the fact that even I said, I was like, I think that I preferred Will's interpretation of this song or whatever. And it's like, sorry guys, like that's my opinion. Now, does that mean Vessel sucked? No,
absolutely not. No.
It's that I actually like them both equally, and same with Hypnosis. I like them both equally. There are days that I prefer Will's version over Vessel's.
Yes. Yeah.
There are also days that I prefer Vessel's over Will's. It really just, they both have a uniqueness that they bring. Sometimes I just like the curveball and way that Will ends and says the phrases on the songs on days.
Well, I think that it's honestly, it's one of those that, like, 'cause we talked about this a lot when we finally sat down and listened, because I don't remember if we listened to Chokehold together, but I know that when we talked about it, we both had heard it, like the actual version.
Correct.
And what I thought was interesting was that it was this moment of like, wait, Will screams, so does Vessel, but Vessel doesn't scream in Chokehold.
Correct.
How interesting of an artistic choice. And it's that thing of like when you listen to Chokehold on like the original version, where you're like, it feels like it's missing it when you've heard Will's.
Sure.
But the thing is that it's like, no, like Vessel doesn't always scream.
And that's the thing,
it's
is
just cool.
It's not missing it. It's the fact that Will gave it his own flavor. And I think maybe I just figured out the reasoning of like the sound difference. And I don't mean that Will does not sing with conviction and or passion or feelings. I think the fact that these are actually Vessel's lyrics, it comes off of this shakier, like breathy voice. Will is just belting fucking velvet smooth choruses here.
Right.
He's just, I'm showing off my talents, Mom. Like that. It's one of those things.
Yeah.
So same with that whole scream part, where it's like, no, he doesn't scream in that song. That's what Will is known for.
Right.
He threw his own flavor in it. He didn't copy Sleep Token. He did a cover of Sleep Token and made it his own. I think that's the biggest difference that people are maybe misunderstanding. They're like, he's butchering the song. No, he's not.
Well, here's the thing, is that he's damned if he does and he's damned if he doesn't.
Correct.
If he does it exactly like Vessel, people are going to bitch. If he changes it, people are going to bitch.
Yeah.
So it's like, no, man, just be yourself.
So with that being said, as far as like actually lyrically, is that Chokehold, the first whole verse is very interesting. It's not even just opening lines like he sometimes, well, not sometimes, always does, but the fact of, when we were made and it was no accident.
Yeah.
So I almost take that as the fact of when we were made, when you and I were made to be, we were made to be together. This is not an accident. That's why I stand here so many times, day in and day out. Like, he believes that this is just his life.
Yeah.
And that, and the fact of that we were tangled up like branches in a flood. And then the fact of here, I never gave the thought of how many times he talks about blades.
Yes, especially now with Damocles too.
Sure.
Yes.
Now that's, you can argue the fact of that is its own story and its own reasoning for
it is, but it's just interesting that he still kept that for one of his
still
singles. You know,
correct.
Yeah.
And then and then a sacred guardian. So like it's just there's a lot to this first verse that is very would convicting be the right word? Like, I don't know how to explain it. Like, he's very much saying, like, dude, this is it. And I've done a lot. And I've shown, like, I've shown you day in and day out that this is it.
Yeah.
But the fact that you still you have me in a chokehold.
Mm-hmm.
It's the fact of almost that same thing where he knowingly sees and knows things, says them out loud.
Yeah. He's acknowledged his situation so many times.
And but it doesn't matter. It still has him, even though missing limbs or not. Like, you know what I mean? Like, how the fuck do you still choke somebody when you got missing limbs? Well, it's verbal.
Yeah,
it's your presence. It's not everything has to be physical.
Mm-hmm.
You know, there's a lot that goes into, because I'm staying with the guys. I'm staying with the line of how we took the lore and stuff, because again, newer things have been happening, and maybe tweaked a few ideas for myself.
Sure.
This is where I still feel like this trilogy is definitely relationship based.
Well, especially is that I think we both agree that the more that we have been able to dive into Arcadia and get feedback from the audience and everything, is that no, even in Arcadia is its own story. Like it is like it's like
agreed.
I think that there's a lot of things that could fit both.
I think that there are some undertones of lore.
Yes, but I think that with doing this intro, man, like I think that there's something very interesting about the way that he says that, is that when we think about, like, take each of these moments in the beginning of this verse, is that when we were made, okay, creation, like not necessarily creation of the world, or maybe that's what he's saying, but in the creation of what is us and the fabric of us, we were tangled up like branches in a flood.
Yeah.
Like it's that imagery is something that when I heard that, I thought to myself, okay, only Vessel could write something like that. But secondly, it's like when you think of the implication, it's like, what is that? It's dirty, it's messy, it's wet, it's uncomfortable, it is sharp, it's splintered, it's like all these things. And it's like, it's this this consistent thing that he has done through the intro of every single album, is he gives us exactly where he is. He does not sugarcoat anything, whether it is sundowning of you're here, like, and that it kind of starts off maybe in a somewhat positive way. It's arguable in different cases, but then we get to Tomb, and then it's like, oh my God, did he self-harm because of what happened in sundowning?
Yeah.
Now he's like, it's almost kind of like, in my opinion, Eden is like, it really is like the acceptance. It's like he's accepted that this will never be the same once we get to, or it will never be what he wants it to be by Euclid. But I think it's like there's this acknowledgement here of, then he's like, no, I know what you're doing. You got me. It's like I'm stuck again.
Even if it hurts me, even if I can't sleep, show me the way.
Yeah,
like.
He's willing to abandon sleep now, even if I can't sleep.
I was just about to say that, where it's the fact of and sleep is still confusing me on what and or whom, or I'm pretty sure that now I'm taking the fact of that sleep is like there really is no gender, but I think that might be the he side, not when he returned, like what you meant to him, but like. I think that's the male side of when people have talked about that he's referred to sleep as a him. But yes, he is willing to abandon that because he feels some type of way about this relationship that, or this woman or whatever, or this throuple or this married one, whatever it is. And it's that, yes, that was what got me too, was when no sleep and it hurts me.
Yeah.
Those are two major things that you are sacrificing the thing that you like kind of yearn for, and then also willing to take pain.
Yeah.
And again, you're saying this out loud. So you knowingly know, man, This is no, oh my God, this is you're standing 10 toes down and willing to watch that train come just hit you.
Yeah.
Like, it's rough. It's rough, man.
Well, and it's interesting because for a while I had it mistaken. I thought that the summoning was the first song where I'm like, well, that makes sense. The deity is being summoned, but it is interesting that the summoning follows Chokehold.
Correct.
Because honestly, this might actually be some of my favorite lyrics that he's ever written, just in general, which is ironic because of how we started listening to them. But it's the sound, it's everything. Just like that whole, how he starts it off. I've got a river running right into you. I've got a blood trail red in the blue. It's just, there's something about that where it's like, okay, river, what does this mean? Like, I've got a river. Like, is this emotion? Is this faith? Is this, is it just the fact of like, we're connected?
Sure.
I think that looking at this is that it makes me wonder that if we're following Chokehold, if we're going to be following the cycle that's been happening with every album, is that there's this moment of clarity that he has always in the first song of like, oh my God, this is terrible, or unless if it's sundowning where it's like maybe a little more positive until it turns. But the second song is usually always whenever it's like, I am enthralled.
Yeah.
I am stuck. It's like, and I don't mind that I'm back here again, but I'm still in pain. It's like, it's interesting that the summoning is that it's like, no, it's that whole idea of like, nope, come to me.
Mm-hmm.
And it's him even saying like, almost like I look at it almost like a covenant when he says, you've got my body, flesh and bone, the sky above, the earth below. And this one is definitely, I would say, more of a vibe. It has kind of more of the ambient metal. It
does.
Kind of thing. So, because when you have the raise me up again, take me past the edge, I want to see the other side, see the other side. That's drawn out. Raise me, like up,
Yep.
So there's very interesting creative choices here with this. So for this is that I look at it that, I mean, who knows? This could be Sleep. This could be Vessel. Who knows? I am sticking with it. I think that this is Vessel until I have a reason to think otherwise. But it's just him just being like, it's like, just give me that good feeling again.
Mm-hmm.
Just give me anything to be able to feel good in this moment of being here. Because especially when he gets into the screaming, that's where you realize like, oh God, this is getting intense. So his emotions are being displayed through that. And I don't know. Like how does this song hit you? And is this one that you listen to that often?
It is. And
it's hit and miss for me depending on the day if I'm going to listen to it.
Sure.
So.
I think that there's some of these lyrics are maybe one of the reasons why. I guess it's something about like an affair or somebody was married or whatever that. I would be lying if I told you that I didn't wish I could be your man, or maybe make a good girl bad.
Yeah. Yeah.
So to me, there's ways where you could take that in the fact of maybe this is some fetish stuff, or the fact of making a good girl bad. Like, she's not supposed to be with me because she's with somebody else.
Which could be the prey that she's preyed upon. Right. Yeah.
So there was, I go back and forth, but again, with how this is done, it's very genius for me that the lyrics are the same at the beginning, but done in a different style, and then added at the stuff at the end. But it gives a different approach. So when you're hearing the beginning of the I've got a river running right into you, that sounds very dark and like almost like maybe somebody was hurt, or like, I don't know how I'd like to explain it, but then when you get down here, now it's sexy. Now it's like the river running right into you. Oh, okay.
There is a river running into you.
So, but it's just the fact of, he's almost being extremely, I almost want to say sexually vulgar with some words, but like still in code.
Yeah. Yeah.
But like I said, it's the same thing at the beginning. You don't really take it that way at the beginning as far as those lyrics, but it's that vibe that he switches in.
See, once we get into Oh and My Love, which this is where I will say that in our reaction to this, that was kind of the moment that I think I started to pay attention.
Correct.
And I was like, oh, wait, who is he singing to? What's going on?
Yes.
And what I love about this is that, especially when we look back at Chokehold as well, too, and there's been different echoes of this here and there, things that you can interpret, is that this is the first time that he has said, did I mistake you for a sign from God? And God is capitalized.
Yeah.
So it's like the idea that he is saying like, no, that there's something bigger than you, and I'm aware of it. And it's like, I think that this is what brought us together. This is how this all happened. And it's almost kind of like even in Chokehold where he's like, when we were made, it's like, no, like we didn't create ourselves. God made us. You know, it's the idea of like, no, like even though he made us, we're imperfect. Like it's like we suck together, as we said, like, you know, in tune.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like, are you really here to cut me off or maybe just to turn me on? And dude, and it fits that vibe you're talking about. It's like that is probably one of the grooviest things I think he's written, besides maybe like Jericho. Jericho, like from their early stuff and everything, where it's like it drops into this thing where you're just like, my body was not ready for this. You know that?
Right.
You know, but it's seductive. It's interesting that he's the one that's initiating this time.
Yeah.
It's, you know, maybe this is the idea of like, there's a part of me that wonders that it's like, what if it's almost as he now has that weapon, and he's kind of like, he's like, let me let you get attached to me, you know, that type of
Sure.
thing, you know, who knows,
you know, and I think that there's always that like cat and mouse thing that goes back and forth with relationships like that, and scenarios that sometimes you do get the upper hand. The problem is that the upper hand for you goes away very quickly. And it always does.
Yeah.
Somehow, some way, because things get twisted around for the narcissist to be all woe is me and I'm the victim.
Yeah.
So your upper hand, even when you got a fucking full house or, you know, whatever, like it doesn't matter. Somehow you still lose. It's like, but right. So no.
It's like when I play clean, I lose. When I play dirty, I lose.
Correct.
Yeah.
Correct.
Yeah. And it's especially moving on to Granite. And this is also the thing, too, I think that we need to talk about as well, is that with not every single one, because I think that for the majority of them, maybe there is all of them. I'm probably going to sound like an idiot, but what we have called the Ludens, the statues. Now, for anyone that wonders what a Luden is, that is taken from Death Stranding. It's like, you know, the idea of like the statues or the people in the weird suits or whatever. It's the only way that I could make Sleep Token make sense at the time.
Yeah.
So I was like, oh, these like they have like different statues or these different things like these Ludens, like, you know, and Granite is the one that really stood out to me, because like you have like the summoning with the guy with the cool mask and like the gun, you know,
sure,
Chokehold. That's one I always forget which one that one looks like. I get some of them mixed up, but Granite is the one with the square head. It almost has like a pyramid head kind of look to it. It's wicked. I think that there's also like there's weapons in their hands too. And with this one, Granite it was a big departure when we listened to it, because we had heard Take Me Back to Eden, and it was kind of like, all right, cool, we know that they're big and epic, and this one's kind of chill.
It's got a weird.
This one is a vibe.
Yeah. These big sounds and things that were coming out of it, and like the switch ups and harmonized vocals with some of these super intense lyrics, though.
Mm-hmm.
Bro. Sulfur on your breath, granite in my chest.
I can't fucking breathe.
Like,
yeah,
dude. And he's very like down in like that whispery, gritty like vibe when he's singing this part naturally, but as far as what he's singing about. But I think it's switching to the whole like second like verse here with the I was more than just a body in your passenger seat.
Mm-hmm.
And then like this whole thing. This is where I still argue the fact of there was a car accident.
Mm-hmm.
There's so much talking about cars, accidents, real scars, emotional scars, whatever might have you.
The marks on my dashboard. Yeah.
Like the marks that has to mean something. Did he punch it? Did they wreck? Was, like I've said before, were they fighting and while they were driving and somebody was the one, like over here, was he the passenger? Anything. Were they just hit by a drunk driver? Was he the drunk driver? Like all of these things. But the fact of the switch up with it on how it sounds, sorry guys, I have my lyrics on my phone, but it just, and then I see you go half blind when you're looking at me, but I am. I took that as that you go half blind when you look at me, like, yeah, you dig me. But when I look at you, I'm completely blind. Like nothing else exists.
It's like, welcome to half the pain I have.
Correct.
Yeah.
This song, I don't always listen to this one. This is not an always repeater for me. But then with it going down to switching again, that when you sit there acting like you know me.
Dude, this part is probably the best part of the entire song.
Yeah. And that's why, like I said, these flip arounds is like this groove, but he talks a lot here about the only drinking water when it's holy.
Yeah.
There's enough of this approach to where, again, he knowingly knows, like, you only do this when you know this benefits you, or when you think that this is top quality, or whatever might have you. Like this, something has to benefit you for you to want this.
Yeah.
And that's how I mostly take that. And that's not why I don't listen to it a lot. It's just, this is a vibe for me and it doesn't always catch me that way.
Well, dude, this is just, I mean, I remember very specifically hearing this for the first time. And the fact when he's like, if you had a problem, then you should have told me. Like, it's, before you started getting all aggressive and controlling, and it's like, dude, I think that's the one thing. And I don't mean to be, I'm going to sound like an asshole when I say this, but it's like, and it's not even just for women, it's for people in general. Like motherfuckers, we cannot read your mind. Like, and some people can be like, oh, it's a stereotypical woman thing. Like, no, men do this too.
Right.
People do this, where it's like they expect you to know everything that they're feeling. And that's the thing that I think is one of the most frustrating things. And anyone who has been in a situation like that, Granite is for them. Yeah. Right? And guess what? We have all been there. If you have been in a relationship from middle school to now, you have experienced this because you're coming into adulthood, you're getting into puberty, your hormones are changing, like you are figuring out your mind and everything that's going on. And it's like, it's just, it's infuriating. Like I know you and I have dealt with similar things, and it's something that it's like, that I've talked to my lady about a lot, where it's like, I'm used to the bullshit of like, 3 months are fantastic, but then one thing I said 3 months ago now is a fucking problem.
Yep.
And it's like, okay, I get why you're angry, but it's like, why did it take you so long to talk about it?
Yep.
It's like, were you afraid to talk about it? Did you just not want to deal with it? Like, because you didn't want to make me angry? Or is it just the fact that it's like, you just like, is there something wrong with you? Like, it's things like that. Because there's been people that we've been close to that, like this shit still happens. And it's like people like that, normal like relationship drama where it's like, well, it's like, I just, I get quiet or this or that. And it's like, don't talk to your person.
Sure.
Like, just like, it's like, why is it so difficult?
You can have that time, but right. Like you have to still, people, like you said, you can't read minds.
Yeah.
You can't read minds. And like that's the thing, is that I think people get comfortable in relationships too, where it's like, well, they should just know because no, we don't know still. Even
every day is different.
Every day is, even 20 years later, just like, I might know that you're upset, but I don't know that you're upset because
you got no problem showing it.
Yeah, because the thing didn't work right over here, and then now the car didn't have gas, but then this had, like, okay, I don't know those things. It's 9:30 in the morning.
Yeah.
What could possibly be wrong? Okay, there is things wrong. Tell me that then.
Right.
I also understand not wanting to approach something directly in the morning when people wake up.
Of course.
Or maybe when you get home from doing it. I understand that. But there is a time and place. And also, pick your battles. There is also that side where just not everything has to be about something.
Right.
Not everything needs to be a huge process. Not everything needs to be this whole knockdown, drag out fight. Things happen. People forget. Things don't go as planned. Like, that's what happens. But using it as a weapon because you're upset or you finally had a bad day, so that one thing that happened that you said or whatever is now the problem because you're bored. That's what it is. I think a lot of narcissism and people that act like that, they're bored.
Yeah.
So they have nothing else but to focus on that one thing that you didn't open the door when you were on your anniversary date or whatever it is.
Or God forbid you forgot the anniversary or you forgot.
Correct.
It's like,
like I get that's a big thing, but right. Like I think that's a lot to do with it as well.
Yeah. Granite is one of those songs that when I come back to it, I kind of like, it's always like in my playlist of like whether or not I'm mowing or like I'm listening to, the whole album's like doing my thing where it's like, oh, cool. Like I'm going to, go through my journey during this like 6-hour endeavor while I'm doing, yard work, or it'll be on my YouTube playlist while I'm working or something like, and I'm just like, that's right. Granite.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh my God. It's like, it's one of those songs where like, it's so iconic already that like when I forget about it, it's a joy to discover it every time.
I have that happen when I do my TikTok lives, because it's one of the only platforms, guys, that I can listen to music and I don't take requests, but usually just a vibe. But TikTok and Twitch, but it like I will have same thing. That's actually how I got back into having car radio being on my repeater.
Yeah, yeah.
I was listening to 21 Pilots and Sleep Tokens, shocker, one night, and that's what happened. And so like you were saying, like with Granite, that'll happen. Or I'm like, oh yeah, this is a good one, or whatever it is, because you get in your grooves with songs from them, and you're like, oh shit, yeah. So
yeah, man. That's another one that pops up. Is the next one, and it's one that I don't necessarily forget about it, but it's one of those that like for whatever reason, Aqua Regia was one of those that I listened to a lot when we first reacted to it, and then once I got deeper into Tomb, I think I kind of like left it behind a little bit.
Oh, it's my like almost a daily repeater,
right? And it's because I mean it has that. Again, that groove to it. Like Eden is just full of like I mean all their music is good, but dude, like nothing is like Eden. There is nothing like this album, and I think that's one of the reasons why it is so iconic and why it's neck and neck with Tomb for me, and I don't really know how to contextualize Aqua Regia with the story, because we've said before, just in case if anybody's checking out this podcast first, we've done a few other episodes on Sleep Token. We've done their EPs. We've done Sundowning. We did a whole episode about Caramel when that dropped, and we did Tomb. So that we've talked about this kind of thing before where maybe the songs themselves, like sometimes where it's like, no, they're not necessarily the next chapter, but this is still the story that's being told. This is the context of where we're in when you listen to this. And Aqua Regia is kind of interesting. And it's starting this off with saying, well, my love is an animal call cutting through the darkness, bouncing off the walls.
There's cutting again.
Yeah. Yes. Yeah.
So
this one's kind of hard to nail for me as far as like where I think it is, because I think it could be Sleep or it could be Vessel.
I think this is Vessel at the beginning.
You think so?
I think so because, dude, this one will upset me. And I think for a couple of reasons, like this is where some of the best, one of the major lines for me comes in with things, but I take that with my love is an animal call cutting through the darkness, bouncing off the walls, and the fact of, again, I like when you think of an animal call, like usually like a lot of times when you think of something like that, at least for me, it's like a lion or like, like a big animal, for mating and doing these things. It's cutting through all of the darkness, getting through and bouncing around to come to you. But between teeth and a broken jaw, you see, now I'm fucked up. And when you get to the end here, putting down the roses, picking up the perfect start to a perfect war, because I used to bring you these bouquets of flowers is how I take this, these beautiful things. Well, now I got this weapon, bitch. You forced my hand into needing to do this. I don't want to do this, man. This was my life. You're the love of my life.
You were supposed to be.
You were supposed to be. You promised.
Mm-hmm.
And now I got to do this. And it's almost like he almost has this like swell up moment with it. And then the fact of integrated hardware you can't afford. You can't afford my heart anymore, bitch. I'm way too expensive for you. You can't touch this.
He knows his worth now.
Yes. I think that's where it maybe starts to realize, because when because he sings the hook, right? And then, well, my past is a holy book. I've been doing things right the whole time.
Yeah.
A call from Olympus ringing off the hook. Yeah. Like, dude, and this is the part where it gets me. Between pain and the way you look, I'm stuck in a time where the mountain shook. And that's when he goes in, and these days I'm a picture frame screaming in the sunshine, singing in the rain. I'm stuck between the pain I know I'm going to endure if I go back. But God damn it, every time I see you, I fucking melt into a puddle on the floor.
Yeah.
I can't help it, man. Because that between the pain and the way you look, because it's so bad for you. It's so bad. It's one of those, don't touch it. Don't touch it. I gotta touch it. I gotta touch it.
Fucking lick it.
Fucking lick.
Yeah.
Yep. Fucking lick the stove. That's exactly what, that's hot, ain't it?
Yeah.
Bro.
I would say you're not going to do it again, but we both know you're going to do it again.
You're going to do it again.
Yeah. Yeah.
So so to me, what you said, this is not one that caught you. I guess that's very interesting to me. So why do you think, or what do you take on this?
Well, I mean, it's one of those that, like, looking through all of this, like, what sticks out to me, like, looking through the lyrics again, first off, because it's just the thought that's on my mind right now. But it's interesting, we get a call back to sugar, with sugar on the blood cells, carbon on the brain.
All of Eden's vices running through my veins.
See, this is where it makes me wonder, is that because obviously the whole point of this entire thing is take me back to my girl.
Yes.
Give her back to me. Like, it's like
so I said, if Eden's a girl, it has to be.
Well, it's especially because, like, if we, like, for anyone that, the long and short of it was that when we talked about Nazareth, is that's where, if you want to take it literally, is that this is where sleep, or if you don't want to say it's sleep or whatever, a narcissist pushed him to the point of kill her. You don't need her anymore. Whether that is figurative or not, but that song,
something.
Nazareth is violent. It's the fact when it's one of my favorite lines ever, is that when he says, let's see if she can guess what a hollow point does to a naked body. Let's fuck her up. Like, I'm sorry, I take that literally. And I think it's the fact that he killed Eden with a hollow point. He decimated her body, and now all he wants is her back. Is that he regrets doing this. And it is the vices. It makes me wonder where it's like, maybe this is super deep, but it's the idea of, like, man, the only way I feel close to her is when I drink. Because she loved this, like, type of whiskey, or, like,
and then when you sleep.
Yeah, it's when you sleep, or, like, it's, like, or maybe she was, addicted to some other substance or whatever, but, or maybe it's, a little less tangible than that, and it's gossip, or if it's anything else, like, regardless, there is something negative that is running through him that is still connecting him to Eden, and all it does is remind him. It's a reminder of what's there, and it's like, damn, but I've got this fucking bullshit now.
Dude, that's weird. I have to take some more things into consideration with you talking about that.
That's honestly the main thing that stuck out to me. Yeah.
Like killing Eden, in the sense of, like, that hollow point. If it was her that he, like you said, when he was like, fuck it, I've had enough of it. Figuratively, yeah. What if he left her? And this, now it's the fact that, what if he left her?
Which means that if it was hollow point, then he left her in a terrible way.
And now this whole time he has been trying to get her back, even though he knows she's bad for him.
Yeah.
Now, again, guys, that was just a quick recap playing off of what he said, but that's interesting on taking a look that way, that it's Eden actually has been gone that way this whole time, but, like, almost like he did it.
Yeah.
Okay. So maybe he, like I said, maybe that goes into my theory was in a sense of maybe he was the cheater. Maybe Vessel was the one.
Well, isn't it interesting that it's like if he was unfaithful with a narcissist, and then now what did you expect a narcissist to do to be faithful?
Correct.
You know, it's
right.
People that start relationships by cheating. It's like, what did you think this was going to work?
How did you think you got involved?
Yeah, right.
It was just your turn, man.
And it's honestly with this one is that, I mean, this is where we get when he says, I'm dancing to alarm bells. No wonder my ears are still ringing. And I'm done fighting off change. No wonder my arms are still swinging. And I think that's interesting is that maybe in a way, like, maybe I'm reading too much into it. But when he says, you know, to him talking about his arms still swinging, is that, wait, his limbs are back? Does he have a leg up now? No pun intended. But it's, you know, but it's the idea of like, no, like he's seeing it's the devastation of what's happened around him, where it's like my ears are fucking ringing from all these alarm bells, all these red flags, all these things that should have been telling me to go away. And he's like, and it's the fact that when he says, I'm done fighting off change. I'm done trying to get, not get away from this. I'm trying to, you know, actually break away, not be stuck in this. I'm done fighting off change. Like, now like diving deeper into it with you, where it's like I get the context is a little more, you know, it's better to understand where it's coming from. But dude, it's so visceral and real. This is one of those songs that it's like, you know, now like I've got to listen to the song again when we get done with it. So it's like
one of my favorites, man. But it's because I feel like I resonate with a lot of the lyrical content that comes with it and how I've dealt with things in my past. So, all right, moving on.
Yeah. Now, guys, we are going to tread some very interesting ground here when we get to Vore. Let me just say this is that we are not trying to be disrespectful. We are not trying to be funny. This is a real theory that has been said about it that I think that needs to be prefaced as we get into this, is that the thing that we were seeing in comments and the stuff that, you know, people have talked about is that this song is very reminiscent of that there is a fetish of that, you know, being swallowed alive by giants. And we're going to see this possibly show up again in Rain, which I go back and forth with on that one. When we get to it, you'll understand. But Vore, this is the one time that I'm thinking to myself, this almost kind of feels like God's Part 2.
Okay.
And the reason why is because I think that what we deduced with that one, with what we can tell, and again, theories can be wrong, you know, whatever, you know, but in the same hand is that God's, I fully believe, is from the perspective of sleep. And I think that Vore is from her perspective as well. Is that when you look at this, is that you have become the voice in my head. Only recourse when only recourse we're left after death. Your viscera welcome me in. My life is torn, my bones they bleed. My metaphors fall short in the end. Your flesh and bone welcome me in. Are you in pain like I am? Now, this very well could be Vessel, 100%. I think that it does apply to him as well too. But there's something about in God's when the lyrics are, my fucking form is nothing but a wreck beneath me, where it's like she has collided into something, or something has happened to her behind the scenes that he doesn't even know about, you know, on this heavenly plane or this dimension that she is from, you know, or sleep rather. But it's so interesting that it's like these things like your flesh and bone welcome me in, like the summoning. He summoned her. So that's kind of to start us off. That was kind of what was like kind of where my mind was at, where I'm like, no, like this, I think this is kind of like God's Part 2.
See, I was gonna say, I thought that maybe it was Vessel doing, like saying that in the fact of like how you, the whole fighting in Aqua Regia where you're forcing my hand, and the fact of him saying, are you in pain like I am?
Yeah.
Like, all right, do you like this? Because,
yeah, right. Yeah, do you like that?
Do you like this? Because this is what it's like to be with you.
Yeah.
This is what it's like to be with you. Oh, no? No, you don't like that. Okay, well, okay. Remember that the next time you say that thing. Remember that the next time you do that thing behind my back. Remember, like whatever it is. I think that there is something there with that. Like that's where like maybe I might take this as Vessel talking. Just because even with just that little bit of like context there, but that line, "Are you in pain like I am?" She ain't in pain. This has nothing to do with anybody else right now but him, because Vessel is the only one that seems to be the one that like really endures the pain.
Yeah.
Everything else around him, her or Sleep, really is the taker of things, it seems like.
Because he does nothing but give.
Because he does nothing but give. So that might be the scenario on this one. This is not one that I listen to a lot. I don't really listen to this one a lot, guys, but just even reading some of the lyrics and remembering some of it, I think that this is just that whole lead off of Aqua Regia, and my opinion on the fact of being strong-handed into doing this now thing to this said person, and they don't like it.
Well, I think that it's no matter the perspective, is that when we think about this, is that the pre-chorus getting into the chorus of, will we remain stuck in the throat of gods again? That fetish, there's clear evidence of that here. Will the pain stop if we go deeper? Of that, I think that regardless, this follows the cycle, no matter who it is, because it's the idea of like, let's just fucking nosedive. Yep. It's like we've never done that before. We've stayed in the stratosphere the whole time. We've had turbulence. Yeah. Now we're a fucking dart. This better work.
And I think if the fact of, it's almost one of those, they both agreed, or in the fact of, maybe it was even a lie in the fact of like, are you in pain like me? Like, do you like this? And it's like, yeah, we can do this. Like you said, now you just fucking nosedive down in together because you both agreed.
Yeah.
So it's not a fight, but you both don't want to do it.
Yeah.
But you're doing it because the other one won't back down.
Yeah.
Almost, I feel like.
Now, I think that this is going with the cheating and things that we've talked about with, one of them or both of them, being unfaithful, is before we get to the very ending of this, is when this line says, "There's always something in the way. I want to have you to myself for once." Yep. And it's, we get, even like in the second verse and things like, "Walls of flesh so warm again, my step into my comfort. We step into my suffering, my only need, welcome me in. So the walls of flesh being inside, it's that symbolism of just being as deep as you can. I think the other thing too is that some people don't think about this, but it's like, if you are being swallowed alive by something, it's pitch fucking dark.
Yeah.
You are lost.
Right.
You don't know where the hell to go. It's like, well, I got nowhere to go but go deeper because I can't go up.
Because you can't go. Exactly.
And I think that there's some people would probably look at the fetish thing and be like, oh, it's like, that's stupid or whatever. No, it's genius. It's because think about this. If both of them were consensual, both of them are stuck and both of them are lost and both of them are in pain. Or one of them is, or however you want to say it.
I like the first way around, where like maybe now it's the fact that they both are, and almost like maybe they both get stuck in a cycle.
Yeah.
All right,
dude. Ascensionism. This has. I will say it this way. This has so many different symbolisms in it that we could talk about things, and hopefully one day we can get deeper. But for right now, looking at this, is that ascending. What do you think? Do you think that this song is Vessel ascending, or do you think it's Sleep ascending? Because I think that there's credence to both, but I think that we may be able to land somewhere. If you really had to guess, like, do you think it's him basically saying, like, you're gonna watch me ascend? Do you think it's her taking power over him, or him, or the inverse?
So I think so, because when you go into this with the whole like, well, I know what you want from me. You want someone to be your reflection. You're bitter to like he said, I know what you want now. You want somebody to be in like almost like misery with you. So you take what you want, then leave, and then he asks, who made you like this?
Oh, that's right. Yeah, this would be Vessel. Yeah, that's true.
So I take this as that he is almost now like, I've been there too, where it's like, why? Can you just tell me?
Like, what made you so evil?
Right. And like,
Yeah.
there's even parts, guys, where I've said in my lives and things before is that, you know, we did not grow up in a bad home.
No.
You know, it wasn't that mommy didn't love us enough or whatever. Like, we had all of our problems the same way, but like, I've been broken somewhere down the line.
Mm-hmm.
And when somebody can act like people, if you have, who made you like that? I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
But the fact of is that he had to ask. I at least am aware,
Right.
you know, to a point like I know I'm broken somewhere along the lines between the age of probably 19 to 41. I was broken in two somewhere, and I'm still trying to pick these pieces up.
Yeah.
But when you're asking like, and who encrypted your dark gospel
In body language.
Bro, he know, because this is to the very core and soul of this person.
Yeah.
It will not let go. There is no way around the actions, the person, the future with this. So him asking at the who and what made you like this, basically. So if I can at least understand, I can endure more.
I think that it's honestly like, it kind of makes me think of not the song Fall For Me, but the imagery that he uses in that, where it's like, you know, where the full phrase that he says is, I want to understand what it means to let go. But there's also that moment in the song where he says, I want to live. And when you see even how he's handled things with Caramel and everything, like, Vessel is so selfless to everybody that does not fucking deserve it. And it's like, even people that have done the things that they've done as a fan base and everything, it's like, why would his love life be any different?
Yeah.
You know, and it breaks my heart, man, because it's just like, it's that idea of like, when you finally are vulnerable again after, you know, so much fighting and everything, where it's just like, when you're tired and you're just like, baby, why?
Yeah.
Like, what did I do?
Well,
You know, or like, what happened to you? Like, can we talk about this? Can we work it out? Like, you know, it's like, I want to help you, you know.
I think that this also goes into this whole verse right here is, I think, for a lot of people that people resonate with. And like, so like there's a lot to this whole second verse, but it took me a while to maybe understand this line. So that whole like, okay, you guessed my future and mapped onto your fantasy. There's a lot we can go into that, but then turn me into your mannequin and I'll turn you into my puppet queen. So I don't know. I've had a hard time. I've had a hard time dissecting this. But I think you're on the wrong camera.
I am. Oh, I'm so sorry. Sorry. Oh, watchies. Yeah, you guys got to see a mistake. So there you go. So yeah.
Sorry, I just caught that. I saw it there.
No,
but,
I was locked in.
Yeah,
so
no,
anyway,
I know.
So, yeah.
But the fact of you turn me into a mannequin where like I won't go anywhere. But I can almost turn you into my puppet queen. Like, I can make you do what I want. Like, I can pretend, basically. Like, I can make this the way I want, in a sense. But she still is doing what she can. She still has all the control, basically.
Yeah.
I know a puppet is still being controlled, but it's almost like a puppet is usually like a play, you know, or something like you can make it kind of your own world. And then when he also comes into, won't you come and dance in the dark with me?
I love that line. Yeah.
And my problem with that is that he is asking her because he's broken. Come and dance in the dark because I've got no light to give you. But the problem is you took my light.
Yeah.
That is why I'm already in the dark. But will you come dance with me? Will you please come be next to me? Can you do it? And that's when he says, show me what you are. I am desperate to know. Nobody better than the perfect enemy. And this is where the digital demons make the night feel heavenly.
And that auto-tune he throws on that is so fucking cool with the digital, but the implication of that, yeah.
This is where I still feel like cheating happened.
Mm-hmm.
Something I will die on this mountain with the fact that the
Video
digital
calls.
demons, texting, video calls. Hell, it could even just be in the fact of, you could even go as deep as like a porn addiction. I don't know.
Sure.
That is digital demons. Bro.
That's too specific.
That is super specific.
Well, there's something interesting about the symbolism in Eden is that we get to see it here, and we also get to see it in Taking Me Back to Eden when we get to it, is the fact of that it's like there's this focus on computers and focus on software, and so like all these different like the integrated software like you mentioned earlier, like it's interesting to show where he's just like God, like it's how he even says it here is half algorithm, half deity. Is that it's okay, well clearly he's talking about sleep, so that this is why like Ascensionism, especially when we get into the apparition, like dude, Vessel is worshiping a narcissistic female entity. Even if she is not truly female and it's just Sleep showing himself as it, whatever. I mean, take the bedazzled route if you want to, where the devil turns into like Elizabeth Hurley to get Brendan Fraser's attention and like whatever. Like, who knows? But I'm sorry, like, if for people that don't think that Sleep is a woman that's a narcissist, you have to explain Ascensionism and the apparition. They are a part of the lore. They are a part of the albums. And I think that that's what makes this so like intense with everything, like because especially getting into like lipstick, chemtrails, red flags, pink nails with one eye on the door and one eye on the rail. I also meant to say this too, is that when you talked about the turn me into your mannequin and I'll turn you into my puppet queen, is that I think that's a bargaining chip. I think that that's where he's like, go ahead and do this to me. You give me access though. I meant to say that, but
that's kind of how I meant to, like, I guess was trying to like explain it too, where like it was the fact of they both kind of get what they want. And the fact of like I said, like you can kind of fantasize that you're my puppet queen, so I can do this over here. But like the mannequin part is pretty well stand still. Like just one of those
do what you're fucking
do
told.
what you're fucking told.
Yeah.
So, yep. Okay.
And especially when we get into this, the make it real part, that's where we get into one of the grooviest parts of this song, but it's also the most hard hitting because anything is better than the way I feel right now.
And then that's with the fact of I can offer you a blacklit paradise and diamonds in the trees and pentagrams in the night sky. So again, going back into this darkened paradise, where it's like, again, come and dance in the dark with me, where again, in my opinion, I'm in the dark and having to do this because of you, but I'm asking you to still come here with me.
Yeah.
And it's almost like what's your answer going to be? Because to me, I would almost think if the answer is no, you would almost be like, what the fuck, bitch?
Right.
I thought we jumped down this throat together.
Right. Exactly. Yeah.
So.
Yeah. And I think that this is if we take the ascend part, is that I think that if this is Vessel, which I think that now, like going through it, because this is the thing too, is that when we did Eden, when we did our listen through, we didn't listen to Eden together just because we were like, no, we've heard this album so many times, but it is still like rediscovering it in some ways, because dude, with him saying like I think that's probably one of the most powerful moments, is when he can look at her and be like, no, you're gonna fucking watch me ascend. Like he doesn't say that, but it's like that kind of like ferocity. And it's that moment of understanding where it's like, oh my God, I finally have power. Oh my God, I'm finally above you. Like and I hate to say it like that, but it's the truth, dude. Like when you are stuck in nothing but a narcissist hold, where it's like when you finally have power, you get why they do it. And I think, and I think that's a part where like it's a slippery slope where it's like, oh my God, like, will I start to enjoy this too?
Yeah. So I'll take what I want and then leave.
Yeah.
It's you're right. Like you get that taste and you're like, ooh. And I won't lie, like I've had scenarios like that where in the past, and like I don't like that. I don't like having like, you know what I mean? Like you should never have a scoreboard with your significant other. And it's like, well, I know what it's like to be the winner, you know, or however you want it. But it's like, there is no winner, man.
No, even when you win, you lose.
Exactly.
Well, it's especially with this too, is that when we get, you know, past the epic diamonds in the trees, pentagrams in the night sky, you're going to watch me ascend, when he says, and I know what you want from me, you want the same as me. But then I think that that's where he's understanding where he's at. And he's like, wait, my redemption, eternal ascension is setting me free.
Yeah.
So I'll and then as you said, say, I'll take what I want, then I leave, or I'll take what I want, then leave. And the note that we end on this is not good.
Yeah.
You make me wish I could disappear. And that's when I think that this is a really heartbreaking thing, especially getting into the next song, is that when he finally has ascended, he is above and beyond. He should feel better, but all he wants to do is fucking die. All he wants is to disappear. It would be better if I wasn't alive.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And this song is hard for me in a lot of ways. Are you really okay? The reason why is I've never talked about this online, but there was a time where I did plan on taking my own life. I was in the situation I was in. I was not living here. I'll put it that way.
Yeah.
And I remember being in that situation and just thinking to myself, like, I've asked that question so many times to the person I was with at that time, and it was thrown into my face so many times, where it's like, stop asking me or whatever, or it's just like, oh, I'm fine. You know, it's like, but then other people would come around and then the truth would come out about how they really were.
Sure.
I didn't like this song at first because of that question, because I never got a genuine answer. And to think about somebody that gives a shit, they give a shit enough to ask if you're really okay. And knowing that the possibility that this is Vessel's mom asking him, like, it's like, honey, are you okay? I've seen everything that's happened to you. Like, I've heard that's what this is. The perspective is that we don't have the perspective of Sleep or Vessel at this point. It's just his mom just being like, honey, are you okay? It's really tough, dude. And especially when you look at, I raised you in the dark, and he says, when I was born, there were no street lights.
Right.
I caught you reading by the sunrise. You wandered from the path through the silence of the hillside. Of that, I saw you go off the path. I know you're lost. And don't you know I could see it in you even then? And don't you know I was trying to hold back the darkness of that? It's like I was just trying to make it easier for you. Mom has said those things to me before.
Okay, sure.
And it was just, again, I did not attempt. I didn't nothing like that happened, but it was just the emotion.
Sure.
Of feeling like that. And somebody that would care enough at that time that knew my situation. Like, dude, the song, it affects me a lot, dude. It's one of the reasons why I connected with Rage so much when I watched his reaction to it, you know, and this one's just intense, dude. Like, there's so much love.
I don't really listen to this one a whole lot.
Yeah.
I don't really listen to this one a whole lot. It's, and maybe it's subconsciously for that reason. You know, there is, I mean, I get it, man, where you have both sides of the coin of are you really okay? And like you were saying, like, the person you were with or whatever, or the situation and how they would react. And then there's also the side of, like you said, like at you as the person. Well, of course you lie. Everybody lies. You doing all right? Yeah, man, I'm doing good.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
I'm good. It's so there's two sides to that as well, I think. But I think that there is something to be said with just like I said, I don't listen to it a whole lot.
Yeah.
And it's just the fact of like maybe it's because of some of this down here. Now I never did. I could never do that. But you woke me up one night dripping crimson on the carpet. I saw in your eyes cutting deeper than scars could run.
Dude, it's straight from Tomb.
So
yeah.
When I do remember that's where I remember I was like, because I think I've seen there's like 3 on his arm that look just like very straight and very like not accidental almost. Now maybe that was just makeup, like being smeared. I don't know, but I thought I've seen a picture before. So you're right in the fact of who knows, maybe he did something, regretted it, and went to her room.
Yeah.
And was like, I fucked up.
Like, Mom, I need help.
I need help.
Yeah.
But the fact of everybody asking, you doing okay? Are you really okay? I'm okay. But the fact of this is, are you really okay?
Yeah.
This isn't, how you doing, man? You good?
It's like, that's the moment of I'm calm. I have eye contact. I have your attention. You need to be honest with me.
Right.
Yeah.
This I think that the fact of how it's actually worded is, I think, key, because I don't know why, but it's the fact that if it was just, are you okay?
Yeah.
Or, how you doing? Or something like that, it wouldn't have the same thing, because this is it's like we've said before, like, I would like to meet MGK. No, I don't want to. How's Coulson?
Yeah, right. It's like once we sit down and have a beer and talk, where it's like, no, like, Coulson, how you doing, man?
Exactly.
You right?
Like I don't mean like that sounded funny, guys, but like the person behind that, or this and that, the are you really okay?
Yeah.
Put the fake smile down. You're behind closed doors. So I'm your mom, or I'm your friend, or whatever. Tell me. Because if somebody else isn't listening, i.e. the person you're trying to be with, or the whatever, you have no outlet. Your only outlet is to probably argue and
toxic.
and be toxic.
Well, I think that this is the other thing with this is that his mom, again, I'm just gonna go with it easy. It's just an easy way for sake of argument to get through the song, but I think that it's like she's very much like Ellie, where she's like, she has a bullshit detector.
Sure.
Where she's just like, that whole thing of like, I don't believe you when you tell me that you're fine. And I think it's that tough part of where it's like I want to help you, but I don't know how. Like, I don't know what I'm doing wrong that like I can't help you, or that, this and this. But dude, like, we've been deep in the trenches together for a while. And I think that it's one of those where it's like, I don't think that we ever got caught up in the idea of like, well, no, I need to make my brother's life better. But it was like, no, man, just let me make everything, like, let me make this moment better for you.
Right.
And it's, but that desperate, just, like a mother's love, where it's just like, no, it's like, it's that idea of like, no, I can fix this. I can't fix it. This is broken. Oh my God, I'm devastated. I need to help him. I can't. Lord help me. Like, it's like, that's all I have left anymore, and this one is just, dude, like, it ends with that plea where it's like, she doesn't say, don't go back to her. All she says is, please just don't hurt yourself again. Because
that can be taken very literal with the fact of, I can't fix your wounds this time. Because that also can mean, I see, again, 2 different things in my opinion with it. You came to me dripping crimson red. Well, like, yeah, that's actually literal, but also maybe just as a wounded soul. as well. So that going back to the end here too, where it's like physically, please don't hurt yourself again. But yes, please don't hurt yourself again and go back.
Yeah, it's not worth. As we said, like she's not worth it.
She's not worth it, man.
Yeah.
So okay, yeah, like that. I knew that was going to be a hard one. I had some things that we would have veered completely off of Sleep Tokens. So I will save that for maybe another day.
Yeah, well, I mean, we have plenty of Sleep Token that we're going to talk about as even in Arcadia, which I mean, people have asked like when's it happening, and it's like, guys, let us react to it.
Yeah,
let us chew on it for a while. Then when we're ready, we will give you our breakdown.
You guys are gonna have to wait a hot minute for that.
So we have had almost a year and a half to 2 years to take in Sleep Token, or however long the time.
It's not. We're not going to get a podcast out to you on May 11th.
No. If we did, it's like we're full of shit and don't trust anything we say. So
correct.
So, man, I'm gonna say this is that I've said it before that "Fall for Me" is my favorite song that they've ever written. I 100% stand by that it's my favorite. But it doesn't change the fact that the Apparition is the best fucking song they've ever written, hands down. I will fight a motherfucker over it. Like this, if you want to understand what Sleep Token is, if you want to get an updated version of what they are like now, you've got to listen to the Apparition. This is a song that covers so much in such a little amount of time. And does so many callbacks to things in the previous verses of reinstating these things. And to me, I think that when I think of worship, when it comes to Sleep Token, I think the Apparition. It's the culmination of all the worship of like what's been leading to this moment, because the next song after this is very personal. So this one, in my opinion, is like, no, this is definitely worship to sleep. Or it's how he worships to sleep. Okay. But yeah, so the desperation. Why are you never real?
Yeah.
Whenever you appear, you leave me with that grace. I am trembling with fear, but I know that you will disappear just as I awake, whisper in my ear. So getting right back into the sleep thing of like, okay, now he's yearning to sleep again. Or rather, it's like maybe not so much that, but more so it's like he understands the lay of the land of like, this is like when I wake up, you fucking go. Like, it's like I can't keep you around. Like, why? Like as he says later, why are you never real? Why are you never here?
Yeah.
It's like, haven't we done enough together to get here?
Yes. And the fact of when he goes into, well, I believe that that somewhere in the past, you and I, my dear, like that there was something between us.
Mm-hmm.
That there's this like, we were good. We were good. What happened?
Mm-hmm.
So in the fact of if this is the or like he's almost taking that too, where like he believes that too, where it's like he's trying to tell her that like, babe, you know that we are good together. We are connected. This is something that you got to believe, like or whatever it is. It's like there's some heaviness to this light singing that he's doing in these verses at the beginning before he gets into the why are you never real and the bigness and stuff. Mm-hmm. This is very almost like I'm gonna say calm before the storm, but it's that it's not even fighting. It's that like, yeah, babe, what is like, come on. It's when you know that we always have fun at Jimmy's parties. It's like it's stuff. Yeah. It's stuff like that.
Yeah.
But this like I said, this is one of my favorite songs as well. Like this is up there with the Apparitions, the Alkalines, the dark signs, all that stuff. But I think it's because of the fact of when he does scream, "Why are you never real?" I get that because I've said this before. I was upset about moving past and out on someone. Why am I upset about losing somebody that wasn't real? Yeah. It was fake, man. The person you fell in love with is not the person they really were. They put on blinders. They put on their own mask to get you in. Gotcha, bitch. Yeah. And then you were there, and then now all they get to do is just poke you. Mm-hmm. And they get to do it anytime they want now because you will always be there. Mm-hmm. So why are you never real? Because every time, like, I got you. No, I don't.
Yeah. I think I've got this figured out, and you keep on
You
pulling
just-
the wool over my eyes.
Yes.
And I think that it's like there's even this enticing thing that he has with it, which in my opinion is one of the best parts of the song, is just so let's make trouble in the dream world, hijack heaven with another memory now. Again, living in the past. Let's remember what we were like. And interesting that we get a call back to Tomb here, and there's been some symbolism of ocean throughout this album, but I make the most of the turning tide, the high water that comes my way. It's like I make the most of it. And it's just split what's left of the burning silence. And this was the line that broke both of us when we, or like more so like because it was so awesome, was don't wait, because this could be the last time you turn up in the reveries of my mind. Of that, I think it's one of those that, like, when I first heard it, I thought that maybe it was, oh God, he may forget about her. But when you think of reverie and what it means, it's like, no, the good parts and the reveries of my mind is that this would be the last time I ever have a good thought about you. This is the last, like, this is your last fucking chance.
Well, isn't it funny with the whole loaded gun and hollow point and the fact of I wake up to a suicide frenzy, loaded dreams. So when you take a metaphoric approach to, obviously, like I said, I don't think he literally shot somebody, but the fact of loading a gun, like hollow point will fucking leave a hole, dude. Like that's a good one.
Yeah.
So, but the fact of going back to that kind of verbiage, if you will, to this loaded dreams. Okay, well, when you loaded dreams, heavy, big, or like, a lot of love or great, whatever it might be, but it's still like loading a gun. Like that's a very specific word again to use.
Yes.
Like he's used in the past.
Yeah. It's very cohesive with his writing.
100%. So like this song takes such a up and down with its, a lot of them do, but like with its sounds of like and effects and like it's the emotional side of how he sings with the emotion, like we talked earlier. That's why Will, I feel like it's not that he's not emotional, but these are Vessel's actual lyrics.
When he sings these things, he feels them, he believes them. Like, it's like we've said it before, where it's like, you know what, this whole deity and worship thing could all be just a very big, grand, master plan of lore that Vessel has created, and it's like, you know what, he got it from a very real place of a narcissistic relationship. Sure. That's awesome. But damn it, dude, this is so thought through that it's one of those that I'm like, I almost feel like that this really did happen, or there's elements of it that are real.
There has to be, man.
There was inspiration of sorts.
There's got to be, because yes, let's even say that it comes out that all of this is, I won't say bullshit, but it's all bullshit. It wasn't really like he's married with 3 kids, or whatever it is. But he was like, nah, man, I read this story one time and like, whatever, and it just made you think or whatever, like with the middle and stuff. Like maybe this was his middle, but God damn it, there is just too much to make it to where this is super personal. Well, it has to be.
Well, as we get into Do You Wish That You Love Me? This is one that, again, the first time we heard it, that I was kind of like, do you wish that you love me? That's such a weird question to ask. It's, it's like, what is he meaning by it? And finally, I think a comment or whoever said it, they were like, no, he's looking in the mirror.
Mm-hmm. See,
how do you talk to yourself like that? Do you wish that you love me?
See,
like, I don't fuck, dude.
See, I sometimes take that with, are you really okay?
Yeah. I
take it that maybe that you could maybe argue both of these songs are him talking to himself.
Okay, sure.
But do you wish that, yes, again, this is not one that I go through a lot either, but I do remember, like I said, the comments, I do remember the song, and then going through, like, again, maybe it is subconsciously that, like, I don't want to listen to these songs. Like, I almost feel like some of the songs that are, quote, I guess, off-putting, if you will, that, like, I don't listen to, are songs that are too much for me to handle.
I get it.
Like, it's almost like on purpose, I can't really listen to them because it would maybe do too much.
Well, I mean, dude, just think about it. I mean, again, like we're going to see more Tomb here with this first line, but do you roll with, or the first two lines, which is, do you roll with the waves or do you duck into deep blue safety? So he's reflecting on what it was like to go through Tomb. Is it always the same, the cycle?
Yeah, right.
Do you wish that you loved me? Do you pull up the chains? Do you push into constant aching each and every day? Do you wish that you loved me? And it's this, I think honestly, like this is really the song that when we look again, like I'll reference Caramel a bunch because I think it's very consistent in his music, but it's is there something you give that you will never receive in return? Relationship wise, absolutely. We have seen that throughout all of his music, but Vessel is a person.
Yeah.
Do you know what it is? Do you wish that you love me? Are you trying to live like everything is a lesson to learn? Kind of like, it's like, yep, this is my next punishment. This is my next thing. You know?
Right.
Yeah.
I think that was maybe some of the when I realized, I'm like, oh, is he not like where it's like like that whole thing where like he's having the realization that we're like, it's just going to stay the same. And he's done it before. It's just, again, I feel like some could maybe even argue that's like, well, his lyrics are like the same thing. They are, but that's the whole point of a cycle, number one. Number two, the thing is that it's a continuation and still just getting worse. So like it's not even a cycle, because a cycle means it stays the same.
Right. Yeah.
Like in my opinion. So like this is a cycle, but then some always. Because you always get the thing, all the things right here, but then one more snowball gets thrown in, and then you come back to the cycle, then another snowball gets thrown in.
Yeah.
So it's just adding to the cycle.
Yeah. Anything to make his load heavier.
Anything. Granite.
Yeah, right.
Dude,
Yeah.
like seriously. So
well, I think that it's especially getting to this of like, obviously when he says my reflection just won't smile back at me like I know it should. Because I think that what's interesting with that line is that it almost seems as if when like now that he has ascended and is supposed to feel better, where he's like I should be happy right now, you know. And I think it goes back to that NF thing where it's like, no, like I'm something's off because I'm not depressed.
Correct.
And I think it's one. I don't want to say it's worse, but like there are worse implications like that, because you can then ruin your life because you're reacting improperly to things that are genuine. You know, it's
because you're not used to it.
Right.
You're not used to it. Do you know how long it took me and still taking me to realize that in my relationship, there's really never anything wrong? You don't know how to take the good things because everything has been so negative. So you could, yes, ruin a good thing on your own because you can't get past something now.
Yeah.
It's hard.
Well,
it's being self-aware.
Well, I think that especially as him talking about how he says, like, you know, maybe not that you conceal your feelings, they just don't exist. Like he's just numb now. And we get into kind of like the midpoint of the song where he says, do you ever believe that we can turn into different people? You're going to see that be brought back up again in Euclid. It's getting harder to be myself. Do you wish that you love me? And then we have the symbolism of can we hit delete? It's like that computer kind of like symbolism of that's popping up here again. And this is the whole song is just a reflection of where he is at in this moment. And I think that this, weirdly enough, like this is where we kind of start to see, besides Ascensionism, which is very aggressive, positive, but still with enough, you know, turmoil. This is kind of the moment where I think it's like he's finally shutting sleep out.
Sure.
And he's like, no, you and I need to have a private conversation. Like, I need to get fucked up. I need to like, you know, sit in front of the mirror.
Yeah.
And I need to like look at myself and see what I really look like and how I'm behaving, how I'm sitting, when I have tears in my eyes, when I don't know why. Like, there is so much in this song to pick apart. Like, even it's just like, you know, him saying, it's been so long that I'm forgetting what it feels like, but I'd rather not remind myself and leave it all behind. And I've tried so hard to fix it all, but nothing seems to help. But I cannot hope to give you what I cannot give myself. That is an inception of himself. He can't help himself. Like, dude,
right?
it's fucking crazy,
right? Because I can't exactly, but I cannot hope to give you what I cannot give myself. Which, in the fact of several different things, but the joy.
Yeah,
you've been weathered down to this nothing that. You have no joy, you have no hope, you have no happiness.
Yeah.
You have now fixated on this one thing because it had you in a chokehold or had you in this thing. And you have accepted that. And when you talk to yourself, you've now realized I can't, the reason I can't get out of this groove is because I have no hope to give myself. That goes back to the whole fact of it is not my job to make Meg happy. It is not Meg's job to make me happy. It is our job as our significant other to give them more moments of happiness and to go with that. If you can, you have to be able to have your own happiness to project out to the other people around you.
Yeah. You got to be healthy.
You've got to be healthy. And I'm a firm believer for myself is that I'm never like a truly happy person. I have my moments. But when you can acknowledge those things and bring your light back, even if it's slow, it still gets turned up every day. You're now telling yourself right now, you've given up. You are talking to yourself in a serious conversation, like you said, probably fucked up when you ironically think probably the clearest.
Right. It's when the world stops.
Exactly.
It's our garage time.
And when you go, but I got nothing. I've been trying to, and now all I've been doing is fighting. And I'm so exhausted, dude. Mike Tyson still gets tired.
Yeah.
Evander Holyfield, Muhammad Ali, some of the greatest fighters in the world physically. Bro, their arms fall down too.
They have to rest.
They gotta go sit in a corner, dude, to have their fucking coach talk to them.
Well, I'm sorry, but even God rested.
So that's the thing.
Yeah.
That's the thing is that when you have given up and you tell yourself, I got nothing. And then you just go, well, I guess just alcohol and sarcasm it is. Like, that's what gets you through. And then, well, it's Monday, so she's probably not going to yell today.
Yeah, at least today's not.
At least today's Monday.
Well, I think that, in my opinion, rain is the beginning of the end. I've toyed with this back and forth, and there's some speculation of fetish things with this. I'll let you guys fill in the blanks, but I don't think that that's important. I think that there's something much more important that the song is about, but it's also my personal opinion. I think that this is he's finally focusing on remembering what it was like to see Eden for the first time.
Yeah.
To be just taken back by her. Like, it's like, dude, like the only thing I can compare it to, and I know that Crystal and I had a very interesting situation on like how we met and like how everything happened. Like, we video called, things like that. But dude, seeing her in person for the first time when she came down that escalator and just like being like, oh my God, that's mine. And just that wave of just relief and that infatuation and everything. And that's for me, it's like, I think that's kind of like that. It's an element of like what rain is that when you see your love for the first time, when you are finally exposed to the great things, like his rain, unless if I'm missing a line, this is predominantly positive. And it's like him just saying like, oh my God, like, you know, that the vicious cycle was over. The cycle was over the moment you smiled at me.
Right, because it's a trick.
Do you think this is sleep? Or do you think he's talking about sleep?
I think that the fact of For so long, I've waited so long that I almost became just a stoic statue fit for a nobody. You've been telling me I ain't shit, that I was nobody without you, or I would never find anybody else like you, or whatever it might be. Guys, sorry, I'm jaded. We talked about this. But just a stoic again, fucking stand there, mannequin.
Mannequin, yeah.
So when you get into that, but I finally think I can say that the vicious cycle is over the moment you smiled at me. And he kind of gets this happy moment because you smiled at me. Oh, everything's fine. So rain down on me. And so like it basically like where you rain down your pot, like your positive things, because you're washing away all of the dirt, all of the salt, all of the things, all of the dirtiness that what's the word I'm looking for here? Tainted me. Because I've been bitter, I've been jagged, because I just talked to myself. Do you wish that you love me? And I just told myself I got nothing to give you because I got no hope, I got no light, I got no nothing.
If I may, I want to throw a wrench in your machine.
Okay.
And it's only because of the moments. What if we heard Vessel say about sleep or about the narcissist? Let's just say that the narcissist is that she doesn't even know his name. She refuses to use it, where it's like there's again, like there's moments like in even Arcadia where we see him talking about his name and everything. So that's a consistent, thing that's being kept. But this song, the reason why I hold to that I think it's Eden is not only because it goes into Taking Back to Eden, but I think that when he says nobody can say for certain, about here at the bottom, he says, if maybe it's all just a game, when I open my eyes to the future, I can hear you say my name. I think
sure.
I think Eden is finally like, no, yada, yada. I'm like, it's like, I'm here.
Well, sure.
But in the same hand is that there's kind of like, this is him in a way, I think, kind of like coming back with his tail between his legs of him saying, I know the way that it goes. You get what you give, you reap what you sow, and I can see you in my fate. I know what I am, the mouth of the wolf, the eyes of the lamb. So darling, will you saturate? Like there's something, because especially like more so in Sundowning, he does kind of refer to sleep as, you have diamonds for teeth, my love. Like where it's like he's kind of in the beginning of his like, infatuation and things. But this one I can't shake the positivity. Now, again, it could be how you interpret it and how I interpret it, whichever. But I think that regardless, it works either way.
I think they had sex. I think that's what rained me. Like I know that people think like a peeing fetish, but like I think
squirting or
like I think could be even like the squirting, but like the fact of let's just take in the fact of like an orgasmic situation,
and whatever it was incredible.
Correct.
Yeah.
And like so the fact of, and just like that, it's one of those when we are in the act, everything's okay.
Of course. Yeah.
We're back. We're back. So that's what I'm saying. I thought the vicious cycle was over the moment you smiled at me, because we're back. And that, and this is where you have almost like a false sense of hope, because you think, well, we just, like it. So you take it one way because that's how it's the only thing you guys are good at.
Yeah.
It's the only thing you truly have in common.
Yeah.
So it's the only positive light you can get out of that scenario. And that's sad. That's actually really, because one day you're going to grow old and you're not going to look like you're 25 years old. You're not going to move the same. You're not going to, that's not to be funny, guys. You're not going to stay hot forever and be able to do the bionic seahorse and all this stuff that your partner likes. Like, but like, seriously, you have to make sure that there's somebody with you that is a companion in a friendship and something. A narcissist isn't going to get it. All you're going to get is sex.
Yeah.
That sounds great.
It's lust isn't love, dude. Lust,
right?
You can't. It's not sustainable.
It sounds great when you're 23.
Of course. Yeah.
but then you fall into a cycle because of that.
Yeah.
And I think that is a big part of this reign where he thought it was over again because of the fact of the rain. The rain is good. That's why he's singing. He's mad in the sunshine, but singing in the rain.
See, I think that regardless of who it is, again, that's how I identify it. But
that's
whether or not he is having a positive memory of Eden, or whether or not he is having one more time with sleep, take me back.
Mm-hmm.
No matter which one it is that he has learned, in my opinion, Take Me Back to Eden is finally the moment of that I am fucking done. I am done with all of this shit. I am done with all the hurt. I am done with all the pain. It's in especially like why I would say like the Eden thing is that when he says, I dream in phosphorescence, bleed through spaces, see you drifting past the fog, but no one told you where to go. Like it's this dreaming in phosphorescence. Like it's almost like his dreams are beautiful. Like it's like now they're finally kind of like okay again. But it's like it's not because of you, Sleep.
Right.
It's like my dreams are fine. It's not because of you. I can finally have peace. And we have, again, callback to Tomb. There's so many callbacks to Tomb on this. When he says, we dive through crystal waters, perfect oceans, but no one told me not to breathe. And now the weightlessness recedes. Of that, this moment of euphoria of everything where it's like, okay, like, no, I'm like, I've only had my euphoria for a second. It's going away. Like, it's like you can't poison me anymore. You can't let that every time that you make me feel the best I have. That dopamine don't last that much anymore.
Right.
And again, him talking about her eyes, my, those eyes like fire. I'm a winged insect. You were a funeral pyre. It's the fact of it's like, no, you are nothing but death and the way to attract me to it.
Right.
Dude, there's so much in this song. There's so much.
What does Joey say? Like a moth to a flame.
That's right. Yeah,
But
yeah.
No, and this is where again the slow almost eeriness that he sings in. It's a vibe that he puts you in because of it's how you feel when things like this are happening in your life, or when things are being spoke to you, or you're saying things to said person or whatever it is. But we do fast forward into that whole the spit blood when I wake up line.
Bro, I will say this. That was, I think, the moment that we finally understood where it's like, wait, they do bend genres. They're like Ronnie. And that dude, that part, oh, fuck me. It's so damn good.
That one was weird because I was like, what's he doing right here in this vibe? But then also,
well, it just goes right into it. Yeah.
But it goes into this like rap. But it's just the fact of we're kind of still almost referencing like this whole bullet wound tape era, choking thing with the whole I spit blood when I wake up. Like, there's a lot of this undertone with other lyrics, other songs, other albums that is being intertwined. Because again, his words are not mistaken. There are reasons.
Well, especially where it's like, no wonder he's in a chokehold when he's waking up. He's spitting blood.
Correct.
Dude, I love it when it's like when you piece that shit together and you're like, it all makes sense.
Right. I think that this is also where I felt like he was wronged. Because with the whole, like, the room feels like a meat freezer dinging in like cold cuts, mirror talk, fake love. So, okay, you could argue the fact of mirror talk, do you wish that you love me? So fake love, but also mirror talk, fake love. Like, I'm just talking to myself here. You're not responding. This is fake love. And the fact of, but I'll take a pound of your flesh before you take a piece of my pay stub.
This is an interesting line. Yeah.
I think there's some part to this where some things have caught me where either they had a kid or a miscarriage. you want child support now,
or you want alimony.
You want alimony, or we're big and famous now, and you want a piece of this pie that you didn't either finish. Hold on. That you didn't fully put in on this project. And now you want some of this? Fuck you.
Mm-hmm.
This is almost him getting pissed right here, being like,
I did this without you.
You got some fucking balls, bitch, to come over now because of all the lights and shininess and all the water's holy right now, isn't it?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, it's super holy. I got the grail right here.
Yeah.
You want this. You're thirsty as fuck. Well, I'm parched too, bitch. And so this is, it's the few times he gets real like, you want to quit poking me, dude.
Well, I think this is also the first time that, again, we'll say it over and over again just in case if people are skipping around, but, and especially when we make clips or whatever, but when, it's like when people say that Sleep isn't the narcissistic woman that he's talking about and being this deity and everything, when he says this is that, I mean, there's some other stuff I want to cover as well too in the beginning, but when he says, he's like, white roses, black doves, godmother, rise up. I need you to see me for what I've become. Where it's that moment of like, no, it's like, I'm fucking talking to you.
Correct.
It's like, no, it's a look at me, look what I've done. And when it's obviously the course of, it repeats again. And when we get into the I would say the triumphant moment of this is that I think it's him having peace of the fact of that, like he's already moved on, and him saying, he's like, I guess it goes to show, does it not, that we've no idea what we've got until we lose it. That he's like, I lost my girl.
I think,
like I lost Eden. It's like, now that I don't have her, I know what I had. And no amount of love will keep it around if we don't choose it. You have to make that decision to go back. You have to make that decision to choose the thing in your life that will not hurt you anymore.
I think that this is where when you talked about the whole fact of like, sleep being this and that, this is where I have a hard time, where I think sleep is everything other than Eden, and it's also Eden. I think sleep is a metaphor for several things. I know I can say certain words in here. I think sleep is also suicidal things. I think sleep is also Eden. I think sleep is also probably a state of where he can remember and have his own way with things. I think sleep is a big overlay for the whole process of whatever it is he was going through, including now to Caramel and Damocles and all this stuff. Sleep is still a part of it, because I think sleep is several different sections of a lore that come together to make the one thing, Eden, the main focus. But this sleep thing has so many different controls. Maybe that's why he uses his hands so much. And isn't it weird? I meant to say this earlier, that the fact of like the branches and stuff in this album, but in Alkaline in the video, he's moving the branches around with his hands.
I mean, there's a lot of credence to say the fact that sleep gives him power.
Right.
Like, the power that she wants to, never power over her.
Yeah.
But there's something sexy about it. Yeah.
That's what I mean. Like, I personally think sleep is several different things. Eden is still very specific.
Yeah.
But it also makes me think, what if sleep is also Vessel being the narcissist? I've also had that process through me, like maybe he was the one.
Well, I think that this is
but I don't know.
Well, it's especially as we get into it, is that like, I mean, because I think that what he's really understanding is that, again, this is one of the last times that in the albums that we have a reference to teeth is, I don't know what's got its teeth in me, because he doesn't even know what the hell she is.
Right.
But he says, but I'm about to bite back in anger. But then he stops and he says, no amount of self-sought fury will bring back the glory of innocence. Like it's how you like have your tattoo. Like, no, an angry man does foolish things. Where it's like, no, it's like I'm about to bite back in anger, but no, that doesn't work.
I know. I try to remember that every day, man.
It's that thing of that. It's like can you blame him?
Right.
For being in for him to being in that cycle, but he finally puts his foot down and he says, I'm done being angry. I am done being mad at myself. I am done being mad at her. I am done being mad at my life. I'm done being mad at God. I am done. Like, it's everything.
This album is accepting the scenario.
Yes, it is. But the 3 albums are really the stages of grief. 3 stages of grief, not the 3 stages, but 3 stages. 3 stages. Of grief. Yeah. This is the moment where it's like, I think that he's like, no, man, he takes back his life and he's just like, no, just take me back to Eden, take me back to where I need to be. And we end this epic trilogy. Let me ask you this. Do you have anything else you want to say about Eden?
No.
I didn't want to cut you off. So, okay. But we end this epic trilogy with just such a gorgeous song, a gorgeous feeling. Again, I'm gonna say this probably every time that we talk about this tonight, but it's like, dude, like nothing will ever match the first time we heard Euclid. Nothing will, dude. Like, it was just, I know that in my heart in that moment it was like being at the end of The Dark Knight and knowing that I was never gonna see Heath Ledger again.
Sure.
It was that thing of like, dude, I am never going to be able to hear Sleep Token do anything fresh again. Like, in my mind, because we didn't know what was going to happen with RCA. We didn't know what was going to happen at that time. You know, and it's just like with this dude, he is God. Like, say what you want to say.
Well, it's again
thoughts in my mind.
Euclid with. It's the sound and how he sings and says things in his cadence. And when he starts off, just run it back, give me 5 whole minutes. Not just are you really okay? It's how it's worded. I know that sounds stupid, guys, but the fact of that's different than saying, give me 5 minutes. When you say give me 5, I need 5 whole minutes of your attention or whatever it is. But this is that give me 5 whole minutes. This is serious because I need it. If you just give me the 5 minutes, that'll be enough.
Well, especially because since the next line is, I'm thick tar on the inside burning. And isn't it interesting that he says, I've got a ghost in the hallway grinning. That's Sleep. Sleep's trying to get back, grinning, jaws, teeth, diamonds, like all that, like where it's just like, no, like I've got a ghost in the hallway grinning and a heavy head that won't stop turning, that I can't look away from her. I'm trying. And it's like with him saying, and if my mind is an open highway, give me the Twilight 2-way vision and give me one last ride on the sunset sky lane. Of that, it's like, if I'm going to get trapped in this again, can you please just let me enjoy what I have one more fucking time, please?
See, there's another thing too, where like, okay, where he says, give me the Twilight 2-way vision. Remember, keep your eyes on the road or we'll both be here forever.
Fuck me. That's right. Yeah.
I got one eye on the. Yeah, dude. So that's why he said so many things where it's like, we only got 2 eyes, but he said it's like 3 or 4 things when he was referencing. But then the fact of keep your eye on the road, that's why I swear, man, it almost makes me think that you're sitting in a car having a fight, doing one of these things, and you're doing the thing where like, hello, I'm driving, like, you know, but it's one of those things where you're going, and then he references a highway on this again.
Yeah.
Those are metaphors, yes, but again, they're so specific in so many albums and so many songs that it's not an accident, no pun intended.
Yeah.
Like, this is ultra specific with words that he uses more than once or gets creative with the word that he used before for the same thing. That is why I almost sometimes think, I also thought maybe sometimes that I agree with you, Sleep is the one grinning, but the whole miscarriage and an accident, maybe it's a kid. Maybe he's seeing the fact of like what could have been like grinning in the hallway. I've again, guys, that is small toying with lyrics and being like when people have talked about a miscarriage or losing a child or something, it's like, well, what would that be with the fact of like having the heavy head of being upset and still looking and what it could have been like and having the kid. But that is here nor there. I think this is still specifically in the fact of you saying Sleep is still, that thing is still right there creeping up behind me and it might get me again.
Well, and isn't it interesting that with the looming danger and with the cycle having the ability to start again, which now again, it's up to him if he's going to do it.
Yeah.
But when he says, I'm assuming that if he's talking to Eden, when he says, call me when you get the chance.
Right.
Because it goes in my opinion, I think it connects with Rain where he's like, I don't want to get in your way. I don't want to ruin what you have. I know you've got a great thing going on right now with your life. Like, maybe you have a good career, or you have this and stuff, and I'm a fucking mess. And it's him just being like, no, just call me when you get the chance. Like,
digital demons make the night feel heavenly. Call me when you get a chance.
Yeah.
I mean, I've said that before with the fact of like, it's something to do with your phone. Somebody was cheating, somebody was doing something. So when you put that all together too with that, we're like, again, call me. You don't say that too. Like, I mean, yes, again, metaphorically, but like, you don't just say, call me God or call me whatever the thing is like, that is directed to a person. And like you said, when you get the chance, it's almost like that was that like echoed sound effect to where it didn't fall on deaf ears.
Mm-hmm.
She heard him say it.
Yeah.
But he knows he's just got to wait he got to wait. He's got to wait until oh my God, my phone went off or whatever it is. Like that's what's maybe now happening to him is he's getting that giddy or like adrenaline rush or whatever it is with that when you call me when you get the chance, because he's either got something to tell you or he needs to talk to you.
Yeah. Yeah. This is... It's insane, man, and especially because how we have the connection back even to with and do you still believe that nothing else matters?
Yeah, and I was even gonna say for me, it's still the autumn leaves and these ancient canopies that we used to lay beneath. Mm-hmm. That is again almost like that reminiscing of that. Call me when you get a chance, because remember. To me, this is no matter everything that has already happened. To me, it's still all the good stuff. He's still in that mindset. Now I just thought of, well, did the grinning figure in the hallway catch up to him because now he's back into this is still where I'm at?
Well, I think that it's I think first off is that I would say that if there is a moment that he switches from talking to Eden to sleep, would be from, I think that when he says, so if your wings won't find you heaven, I'll bring it down like an ancient bygone. I think that that's meant to be towards Eden of like, no, I'll make everything better. I promise.
Sure.
Like I want to help you. But him saying, as we do this, he says, call me when you have the time. I just need to leave this part of me behind. And, or maybe it's the response of this is that, because this is a very intense moment when the song changes.
Yeah, so that is true.
Could this be sleep saying, do you remember me when the rain gathers? It's, or maybe he's saying it, or maybe he's, because if that's rain was about sleep. But also, what if Bloodsport was actually towards Eden? That he made loving her a blood sport, and he's like, do you still believe that nothing else matters? Please, like, it's like that moment of like, please tell me you don't. Please tell me you don't. Like it's, I mean, that's that to me is like, that's where we kind of look at the connection that we get from sundowning, because he says that in Bloodsport, but he's saying it here. Like
see, I take Bloodsport in the fact of he knows that he'll never win. I've made loving you into a blood sport, which is the fact of this is always going to be a scoreboard event. The who's got the one up, and I've made it into this as well. That this is always going to be basically a bloodbath. Yeah, that's how I took it, because where he's like, and I can't win.
Well, especially when we get to the perspective when he says, "No, by now the night belongs to you." Is that again? Is he talking about sleep, or is he finally saying that Eden is like, "No, you finally have the night," or whatever? But it's weird because this. Euclid does not end on a good note.
No, it doesn't.
It ends with
even though he's accepted, it does not. You're right. It doesn't end on a good note.
Right, and it's like it has a very authentic ending where it's just like, no, I know you won't be mine. I know that I can't have you. I know that it's like this won't happen.
So give me the night.
So just give me the place that you are. So again, but that also works with sleep too, where it's like that's, I have to have nighttime. You can give me that and that's it.
See, and that's why
there's so many things this could be.
That's what I'm saying is that I think that sleep is a metaphor for a lot of different things throughout the lore, not to make it fit, but to maybe even give different undertones to lyrics and scenarios and life or whatever it is, because to me, I still think that sleep is Eden. Sleep, a part of it is Eden. If I really had to gather a thought collectively in a short term, the girl is Eden and she's the narcissist, but so is sleep. Sleep is still part of that, part of her, part of him, part of this, that, and everything in between. That the sleep part is just where he can go to make things happen, or to where he shuts his time off, whether that is even just him sitting up awake, drinking beer in his garage. Maybe that is his sleep. Maybe that is, it's all what he has made it to fit together. But again, not force it, but it's that thing. It's the reasoning behind all of the stuff is the sleep.
Yeah.
But that's how I take it. And Eden is a for real girl that he can no longer have. And in my opinion, she was the narcissist for the most part. I toy with it being him sometimes, but I think for the trilogy, it's her, this, and everything in between was Vessel trying to figure out his life to be with this person because it is what he wants so bad.
Yeah.
Whether they were high school sweethearts, whether they were, in a throuple, horrible relationship, and turn whatever, like something caught this man, brought him to his knees, and is a fucking worldwide musical treasure legend now. So I will actually say something. And I hope that people understand what I mean. I don't wish ill will on anybody, but bitch, Eden, thanks, because we got some of the greatest shit that has ever been wrote, and you're to thank for it. Mic drop. No, but I think that there is some truth to that, is that had that never happened,
right,
we wouldn't be sitting here literally right now doing this thing.
No, and it's this is. I would say that if I had to package everything up too, is that I very much stick with the idea that I believe that sleep is an entity that is enticing, that is controlling, that is just that has no regards, like damn near almost sociopathic. Tendencies and everything. But even if it is not sleep, it is the narcissist. Right. Like kind of like how it's like the Fight Club, where it's like you don't know his name, but he's known as the narrator, like that type of thing.
Yeah.
But I very much subscribe to the idea of that, it's that Eden was killed, whether it is figuratively or if it's literally, but it's just the idea of that Vessel got what he wanted, but it wasn't what he wanted. He couldn't go back, and now all he wants is to go back. So however you want to fill in those blanks, or however you want it to go, because to me, I don't see him. Well, I mean, maybe he would, but I don't see him wanting to go back to another narcissist. That's where I draw the line. But in the same hand, he's repeated this cycle so many times, so it's like I'll go over here where this is better. And
I've done it.
Right.
I've done it. So I get where it's like, because it's all you know.
Right.
It is all you know. But see, again, this is why I say there was somebody, again, if somebody's watching it or that said this, the one that said this or whatever, I did not take that as being an asshole, but I caught one comment on Damocles, and it said, I feel like Eric's trying to force the lyrics into the lore or something like that, like force the lore into the lyrics.
We both were, but yeah.
For that. And it's like, well, no, and they ended up saying nice things, but it was like, no, I'm not. The problem is that there is still that I know that these last couple of songs are not lore driven per se,
but
the fact of what did you just say? And the fact of got all this, the thing that don't even want it now, looking out for the future. You got the sword hanging above. You got everything you wanted. You don't want it now.
Yeah, it's like it's almost kind of the idea that it's like no, it's like his. What did he say in Caramel when he's like, I thought I got better, but maybe I didn't.
Sure.
And it's where we leave off in Eden is that it's that hopeful thing of like, oh my God, can he finally be okay? And it's like, as far as sleep is concerned, he's fine.
Yeah, now it's completely different.
But now he's in this kingdom and he is in this realm that he does not understand. And it's like
fame, fortune, all the I think that's a real thing. Like he literally is up there going, shit, I'm afraid of heights.
Yeah, I'm not ready for this.
You know, like I didn't know I was afraid of heights till I got this high up.
Yeah.
And yeah, sure, absolutely, man. And that now I argued so I'll wrap this up, but I argued, guys, that you know, maybe we were going to get certain things out of Sleep Token in the future before a lot of this bullshit was happening in his personal life. I think personally, we were going to find out what Sleep Token was, what this lore was. I think now, because everybody ruined it, he ain't going to tell us shit. It's the one thing he has.
It's like
it's the one thing.
Yeah, it's like not knowing what the creeper is.
Correct.
It's like no, fucking figure it out.
What's in the briefcase? Quentin Tarantino has stated before, I'm pretty sure he doesn't even know, but he got all of us because we all want to know what's in the fucking briefcase.
Yeah.
So, but we're never going to find out probably. I think we're now going to get Quentin Tarantino vesseled. So we're going to get Quentin vesseled.
Yeah. Quentin vesseled. Yeah. That's really good. I like that.
Yeah. That's again, personal opinion because it's the one, like I said, one thing he has left that he can keep.
Yeah.
So,
dude, was
a long one,
bro. This one, this entire stretch. And number one, I want to say this is that making it to the end of this is refreshing because we have wanted to do this for so long and just dive deep and just nerd out. You know, it's that whole thing of that this disclaimer after the fact is like take everything we say with a grain of salt because everything is subjective. So it's kind of like it's like, you know, like whatever.
Absolutely, man.
But I want to just say thank you. Thank you to the person that's watching this right now. Thank you for the people that
the
hearies and the viewies, everybody, you know, it's just even like the people that are on the Project Atlantic Discord that whenever we've shared our stuff on there, that they have been so gracious to let us keep sharing our, you know, videos and stuff that are Sleep Token oriented. You know, the people that are supportive of, you know, the theories that we have, but also the people that challenge us and the people that are like, hey, you know what, maybe it's not this or whatever. Like getting a full video response from somebody, which thank you, dude, was so awesome because it's like, dude, it's like that's the stuff that we love is that conversation where it's like, no, dude, let's fight this out. Let's talk about this or like let's dive deep or like all those things. And I know for me that being able to put a pen in it for now and say like, dude, we have gotten to discuss such an incredible trilogy that we will never forget.
Yeah.
And that is, you know, something that I'm sure 5 years from now, we could do another podcast and have a whole different perspective on this.
Oh, yeah.
Because of how beautiful Vessel's mind is when he put all this together. But that it's like, nah, man, I give you enough. What I've given you is enough to be able to figure it out.
Yeah,
you know,
but I don't know if he ever will because that's all he does.
Yeah, right. But it's, yeah.
So, I'm serious. So I guess, yeah, we'll see you on the next one after we get scolded.
Yeah, right.
So see you then.
We're going to get a very long written letter about everything. Yeah. But no, guys. So just to kind of give you guys an update on things is that we're toying around with the idea of doing another music episode of like our favorite lyrics part 2 because we did do did an episode like that a while ago. But I think that we probably are going to shift gears in the coming weeks. There's going to be podcasts still, but obviously we've done Sleep Token. We've done all their stuff right now. We are going to save even in Arcadia for when we have the ability to take in the album properly and chew on it and do it. Correct. So there's going to be some different things. Mom might pop on. I might have a buddy on that's unrelated to everything that's been going on. We may have a conversation about music in a different way or whatever, but I want to keep the palette fresh and I want to throw some I hate to say this way, but it's like normal content of like
Sure.
what we would normally do. And we don't always do big deep dives like this,
right.
So, but regardless, you guys are here. We thank you so much. It's so awesome to be able to have this kind of community and to have people that love music as much as we do. And we hope that you have gotten some benefit out of talking about these deep things. We've laughed, we've cried, we've done everything in between. And it was an honor to do this with you, man. It's so fucking cool.
Yeah.
So, but before we officially sign off, is there anything, last little tidbit you want to give the audience before we officially sign off until next week?
Nah, other than just listen to Sleep Token, enjoy it for the music. Have your own opinion. That's what this is all about, and let us know in the comments what you think. We take other people's, ideas into consideration as well. We are not right. We don't know if we're right. We don't know if you're right, but this is what it is all about. And I truly hope that we get some more things from Vessel in the future to discuss with you guys. So like he said, thanks for hanging out.
Awesome. We love you guys. We appreciate you. We will talk to you next time. Adios.